So Nicki Minaj has been dumped by her lawyer. She has been dumped by a lawyer representing her in a civil lawsuit. Nicki is being sued for $10 million by a fan who says that she viciously harassed him. This lawyer says can't do it anymore, cannot represent her. She essentially is too difficult a client and will not communicate with him, will not respond to him. And this ain't her first problem with lawyers.
Yeah, so she had another lawyer that was representing her in this case, but he also dropped out late last year. He didn't explain why, but the new lawyer says it's a communication breakdown. They've been trying to reach Nicki for months, and she hasn't been responding to texts or emails.
Yeah, the lawyer that was representing her dropped suddenly, though. So this lawyer who represents the company that is also being sued is saying, I represent the company. I filled in for representing her for a little while, but she's got to find permanent counsel here. And she is not responding to our calls, so I got to withdraw. I got to get out of this case. Judge hasn't signed off yet, but it probably will.
How real is this lawsuit?
I think it's fairly real. She hurled some accusations that
she called the guy a stalker.
Yeah, called the person a stalker or accused him of criminal. Like, if those are falsehoods, that's defamatory, and she has to sort of deal with that.
So he's suing for defamation.
Yes, slander, I believe, was the underlying lawsuit.
So there was something, what was it, where, and I don't even know if it was true or not, but there was something swirling about she might lose her house.
So a couple months ago, a creditor who was owed, I think, over $500,000 from her husband beating him up at a concert, allegedly.
And he got a judgment.
Got a default judgment, and then he tried to have the home sold off to collect on the money.
To pay the judgment.
But right before he went to court, she paid him at the final hearing.
So what is she doing here? I mean...
There's a lot going on.
This has nothing to do with MAGA.
It doesn't seem to, not by the documents. It's just they had a communication breakdown. She's not sort of addressing that he has been representing her in a limited capacity. He was willing to do so, but he's not willing to do so anymore. And he's saying she's got to get a real lawyer.
Wow.
Yeah.
And the third lawyer is going to say, oh, sure, I'll take the case?
Right. I think she's fairly radioactive to some people at this point.
I believe so as well.
Hey everybody, Jerry Moylan from West Hollywood. Nicki Minaj has been dumped by her fans too, so this is no big surprise. I think Nicki gets what she deserves. I mean, we're seeing a little bit of a pattern here with the whole thing she did with MAGA and Trump. I know you just said, does this have anything to do with MAGA? But I think it does, because she's pulling a Roseanne Barr. She's destroying her career and making these ridiculous choices that really make no sense. So I'm sure everybody around her is just scratching their heads and saying, what the hell is she doing? She's losing her fans. She's lost her lawyer. She's getting sued. I don't know what these people over in Trump land are doing for her, but it must be something pretty big.
Congratulations to Jonathan Majors. He is back shooting movies. He is shooting a movie in South Carolina right now. This is after a 4-year kind of a not self-imposed hiatus, after the trial with his ex-girlfriend. I'm going to say it again. Jonathan Majors got screwed by Hollywood because he won that trial. If you remember, his ex-girlfriend said that Jonathan had assaulted her in a vehicle, inside a vehicle in the back seat. I think it was an Uber. And when they got in the car, you see him kind of push her in. They didn't prosecute him for the little pushing in. That was not what this case was about. It was about whether he assaulted her inside the vehicle. The jury voted unanimously not guilty, that he did not do it. This is after the Uber driver testified, others testified, and the jury said it didn't happen. They convicted him because he did kind of push her into the cab. That's never why, not at all why, he was prosecuted. He won that case, but Hollywood is so skittish that they basically banished him. He's back, and he's a big star, and I got to say, I always thought that Hollywood screwed him, and so he is back shooting this movie. It's really interesting. He's shooting it with, the Daily Wire is producing it, and they have produced other movies where people have been kind of in similar situations. Gina Carano, they did a movie with her. The Daily Wire is a conservative outlet. And I think that it's not an accident that the Daily Wire is one of the producers of this film. I think there is kind of a reaction to this, hyper, as some people would call it, wokeness in Hollywood. The guy won the case. And if you ask the prosecutors privately, they would acknowledge that. So here's the thing. Jonathan Majors, I talked to him this morning, and he was going to come on TMZ Live to talk about the film and to talk about how great it is to be back and all. His agent at the William Morris Endeavor Agency said, oh, no, bad idea, don't do it. And I just think that, as soon as I heard it, I just laughed. And I said, Jonathan, I want to talk about this. And he was cool with me talking about it. But it's just so funny the way this town works. Agents, I think, are so tone deaf to the realities of Hollywood and the world. And, the idea of Jonathan Majors coming on and, talking about how good it is to be back in the movie business. Especially, look, he knows how I feel about this case because I talked about this case before. I think it's great that he's back. I don't think he should have left. And the William Morris Endeavor Agency said, oh, no, don't do it. These are not people who understand media. They may understand television, they may understand film, but they have such a lack of knowledge of the way media works. And I just wanted to kind of share that with you because we don't talk about it that much, but it just seems so absurd to me. And he kind of just threw his hands up because, he doesn't want to piss off his agency, but so tone deaf, so ridiculous.
It's interesting, as you said, it's something of inside baseball, but there is something to be said.
Oh, I don't think this is inside baseball. I think it affects Jonathan.
Well, it does affect Jonathan. The fans want him back. His firing, as you said, had huge repercussions. I mean, Marvel had to rework everything when they let him go, and they let him go immediately. People are excited about this role. I have to assume his agent is worried that if we get him back in the press too soon, it's going to dredge up some sort of bad, some sort of bad juju maybe. But they want him back. He is back. Let him come on and promote it. Let us help him celebrate this moment.
Or how about just, hey, Jonathan Majors can talk about what it feels like to be back. That's a good story.
That's a great story, and I think a lot of people would like to hear it.
Hey, William Morris Endeavor. That's a good story.
Johnny Benitez, Brooklyn, New York. Yeah, if Jonathan was found innocent, it's really disappointing. But a lot of the time with headlines and how people work, they just see those headlines and they never actually look too deep into it. And I know they say, like, statistically speaking, when people see things written in a form, like, to be taken serious, like in a news kind of format, they just automatically believe it. So now that he's found innocent, it could be very difficult. And we are in a social media age. And there's a lot of people now that actually want to get the full story. And people are more transparent. There's streamers now. They're like all these people now that are being so transparent. And I think they just kind of want to see the full story. And since he's innocent, I guess he does have a right to express it and talk about how good he is and how good it feels to be back.
Yeah, you speak the truth.